Hello friends and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out the early preview version of an upcoming game called Turbo Dismount by developer Secret Exit. This is a physics-driven game where, and I'll cut right to the chase here, we're going to be smashing things into other things for the most points, essentially. That's really all that's going on here. It's a very quick little kind of casual game, but it's also really fun and really addictive, and there's not a whole lot to really explain, so why don't we just get right into it and I'll show you exactly what this is about. So we're going to click on play here. This is, by the way, a web browser preview version, so any of you can go ahead and try this right now. This is set up for their Greenlight campaign, so we're going to choose from one of the 3 levels available. Obviously only 3 because it's still preview version like I just said. The original is just fine when we get acclimated here. So we are on the very beginning. The first thing we can see here is there is a brick wall off in the distance and there's a bunch of arrows pointing toward it. So looking at the bottom of the screen, we've got a number of things we can choose from. First of all, a bunch of vehicles. We can choose in the delivery van, sports car, Mack truck, or shopping cart. For a little bit of a, the jackass approach, I suppose. We could choose a sports car to get maybe a little bit more zip. Then we've got a series of obstacles, and you'll see there are 3 different slots that we can post these obstacles in. We can actually choose to omit all obstacles if we prefer. Not that that would necessarily be the best option, honestly. So we'll just put a brick wall at the end, and then we'll say we're ready. But if we wanted to, we could put, a mega wall, a quarter pipe, an oil slick, an overpass, a big ramp, road bump. Any of this stuff is possible in any of these 3 slots. Then we can go to poses. So we could put our ragdoll character here on the back. We could put him or her grabbing the front. We could put him or her, I guess just kind of chillaxing. There's only a few options for this particular vehicle, but in the delivery truck there are a few other options as well, so I guess it is dependent on which one you're doing. Then we've got our steering. We can either go hook left, hook right, or center. Obviously, in this case, since we want to cause as much havoc as possible, going straight into the wall is going to be our best option. We can zoom in and out with the scroll wheel, move the camera around with the mouse click, and then when we're ready, we click and hold on dismount. When we want to let go, at the top point, we'll get the most juice, and essentially we're just going to smash into this wall and try and do as much damage to this ragdoll as we can. And the more damage you do, the more your high score increases, and the further up the leaderboard you get. It's really that simple. There's even a replay afterward to make sure that you can see the maximum damage possible. That was a high score because I'd hardly played this at all, but if we want to go back and do this one more time, I can actually slow this way down all the way to an 1/8 speed. Even go backwards so you can scrub in and out of the best moments. Let's see if we can zoom right in on the wreckage here. The best part, though, is when you reach the end and then the ragdoll just shoots up in the air for whatever reason, hits the invisible wall at the end. I'd kind of like it if there was something beyond the track area that you could smash into to kind of give you an increased chance of doing more damage there. But this really kind of channels the spirit of some of those really fun modes in games like Burnout, the crash mode there, or the physics-driven modes in Skate 2 and 3, where you could smash your character up and try to break as many bones as possible for monetary rewards. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense in reality, but it's also just really fun, and who really cares, right? Sometimes that's all you're really in it for, and I think when it comes to physics-driven games, stuff like this can be a whole lot of fun. So we'll try a different vehicle here and maybe a slightly different setup. Obviously this truck is not going to be able to move as quickly. We'll see if we can put our character up on the top. And what do we want here in terms of obstacles? Maybe we'll just put a mega wall here at the 2nd slot instead of all the way to the 3rd one. Character should not make it through that. But then again, now that I think about it, what if we put a little ramp? What if we could launch the character off the quarter pipe and maybe go over that wall? I don't know if this is even possible. I haven't tried it before, but let's see. We're not going to quite make it there. Let's see what the truck does. Oh my goodness, the truck goes way over. And I guess you get some points for smashing that up as well. Alright, well, it didn't quite work the way I wanted it to, but still worked a little bit. Let's see if we can maybe put the character in a slightly more viable position here. Probably not dragging from the back, perhaps. Hanging from the front might work. Alright, let's try this out. Oop, I clicked and only held for a slight moment there, so that would be the Tiger Woods golf equivalent of a bad putt. Oh my goodness. Alright, that's a strange way to do it, but might work. Alright, if we could just get the character, like, underneath the falling truck, that would probably be the best chance of doing the most damage. But I'm surprised to see that the truck actually gets pretty good airtime. And we could, of course, try this with a different vehicle. Whoa! Things really blew apart there. I like that the vehicle has a little bit of collision and destruction to it as well. It would be even more awesome if we got some of the Beam NG Drive style physics deformation and soft body physics modeling But this will have to do for the moment, I suppose. Now, if the truck would just fall on me... No, it doesn't seem to want to do that. Let's try switching vehicles again. Let's do the shopping cart and see how this goes. What are our different... Oop, I didn't mean... Obstacles. I wanted to see poses. Okay, we can Superman... We can lay down and sit forward. Okay, so let's do the Superman. Soldier Boy, tell him, go off in the... Oh, no, that didn't quite work out, did it? Let's try a different pose. Maybe like this, then. I'm not sure quite how much speed you're really going to get in a shopping cart, and apparently the thing won't go in a straight line anyway. So maybe this isn't exactly the best path for us to do a lot of damage and get a lot of carnage involved. All right. Why don't we try one more thing there, and then we'll move on to the next level, because I would like to show you some of the other levels. Honestly, this is the least interesting one. I've only seen the first and the second one. I'm not sure what the third one even has in it. Oh my goodness, this could be... Oh, I thought that was going to be really good. What happens if... Okay, I know I said I was just going to do one more, but like I said, it's pretty addictive. I'm going to do swap here on the obstacles. We're just going to do 3 brick walls and see how many of these the character will make it through before completely smashing into nothing. 1. Kind of 2. Alright, and that's, I think, all we've got on that one. I think if we had a heavier vehicle, that might actually work out better. Like the Mack truck could probably plow right through this. I'm sure it's got the torque, but does it have the torque? Oh, wow, okay. That actually did some damage to our character. I wasn't really expecting that. And we made it through all 3. So that actually was a decent score. Not our best score, but decent. Now, if the truck runs me over... That could be a whole different story. The truck is not probably going to do that, though. It seems to be driving off into the distance over there for some reason. Okay, good enough. Let us go out to the main menu, or select level, rather, and we'll go to the T Junction, where we can now set up another scenario. Now, this one is a lot more interesting because we've got these other vehicles as wildcards here, so if we end up in a position that's particularly compromising where the vehicles start juggling us back and forth from one lane to the other, all of a sudden things get a little wacky. So our obstacles set up right now, and this is from my little trial run while I was getting my sound test. We've got an oil slick and a speed bump to try and throw the vehicle off balance as much as possible to maybe get it to tumble through the traffic because, you know, you want to try and have the highest chance of entropy if possible. So sports car for the most destruction, I would imagine. And I found the strangest thing about this seems to be that a lot of the time you actually miss all of the traffic. In this case, that is not what's going on here. Oh my goodness, look at the carnage. I'm pretty sure there's not going to be much left of me at that point, so that's a pretty wild high score too. Over 1 million. Pretty sure I haven't gotten that before. Let's see the replay on that, because that was pretty exciting. Alright, let's do one. Normal speed, get us to the lane at the junction, and slow down. Let's go to 8th speed. Alright, so there's our character flying, flipping, and spinning through the air. We catch the side of that excavator thing, some sort of a snowplow truck or a Hum vehicle or like a Warthog from Twisted Metal. We go under a bus, sliding along. There's another excavator thing, or backhoe or something, and then that totally crushed our head. Now we've got another bus incoming, as well as another little passenger car, which totally is pretty interesting physics to it, and just flies up in the air and out of the frame. And then another one of those with the pusher at the front, and that just totally crushed my whole body and kind of pushed me under the tire of that other one. Then the other vehicle lands almost on top of us. Honestly, this guy's seen better days. Alright, let's see if we can get another one. That was definitely up there for one of my nastiest collisions so far. It's amazing how fun something this silly can be. I mean, there's such a simple premise behind it. It doesn't require any story. There's no, you know, real setup. You don't need to get emotions involved. It doesn't have to be a work of artistic brilliance. You just want to smash stuff sometimes, and you want to do it in a satisfying way like this. And I have to say, going back to, like, the games I mentioned before, you know, the Crash Mode and Burnout and Skates, oh, man. What just flew off of him? Something flew, it was probably his hand just flew off. That's pretty wild. But going back to those games, it's such a silly thing, but we just, like, we really can get into the concept of just, like, maiming somebody for some reason. I don't know what that's about. I don't pretend to understand it myself. Honestly, I thought it worked best. Oh my god, was the dude cut in half? Oh, wow. That's the most violent thing I've seen happen so far. Oh, the body parts are all over the road. Well, I was just about to say that I kind of enjoyed how in Burnout, it wasn't really about the people, it was more just about the destruction and the physics involved and the cars crumpling and things turning into like a little ball of metal. I would almost prefer that to be the case, but honestly, this isn't really, you know, that accurately modeled. There's not really any gore. That was the closest thing we've gotten to gore. This more seems like you're posing one of those mannequin figurines like you'd use for drawing or something. You're just throwing him into the middle of a bunch of chaos. So I don't really see that this is necessarily all that controversial. I guess showing the bones breaking on the side is probably the closest thing to actual violence that we're really depicting here. I mean, yeah, it's a humanistic figure, but I don't know. Is this a thing that you guys think is necessarily controversial? I have a feeling that there's not too many people would feel this is a big deal. But I was just sort of thinking about it in terms of, like, would you let a little kid play this? I don't know, I probably would. But then again, I'm probably, I don't know. I'm progressive in some ways and more conservative in other ways, let's put it at that. But yeah, I'm kind of curious the dialogue about that whole concept, as we just keep throwing the sports car into the middle of this junction here. But this is a surprisingly addictive little time waster. Like, there doesn't have to be much more to it, and even at this early state, having only a few levels, a few vehicles, a few poses, I mean, it's still really fun, and I just keep playing it over and over again. Oh man, imagine once all the vehicles get all properly, you know, textured out and things start to, I don't know if maybe they're planning better physics with regard to the vehicle collisions. Honestly, right now it's not all that bad. It's just kind of funny in a cartoony sort of way, but it would be even better. Like, I'd love to see one day Beam NG Drive style soft body collision. Oh my goodness, I think the head came off. Yeah, there's no head there. But yeah, I'd love to see that style collision in a Burnout 3 style crash mode, and it would probably be one of the most fun things ever. Just seeing what kind of havoc you could cause, you know, with the amount of polish and shader effects and graphics that you can put in, and physics, of course, into a situation like this. It's still very tasking on most computers if you get into the really complicated stuff. Which kind of begs the question, maybe I need to go ahead and do a benchmark of, like, smashing a bunch of cars together in BeamNG Drive to see what my computer can do with that. Running, you know, two GTX 770s. But anyway, I guess we'll go back out one more time and check out the last remaining level, which I have not seen yet, and see what that does. Space Program. Oh goodness, this looks like it could be pretty exciting. You don't even have to be a Kerbal for this one. What are you gonna do up there? Oh, this is wild. Alright. I'm not sure how far up that wall we're gonna make it, unless this is given some sort of a special nitrous boost just for this particular level. Oh, actually seems to manage quite a bit of traction here, so we're gonna go all the way up this thing and then drop. And then see what happens. Oh, I wish there was some way to, like, launch the character into, like, traffic below or something. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Oh, are we really? We're gonna get stuck on the lattice work on the way down. Well, that is the ultimate in buzzkill. It's really just gonna hang up there, huh? Really? Alright, well, new high score, because I have no high score, so let's try that again. Up we go. We've already damaged ourselves. We haven't even gotten to the dangerous part really yet. Well, we are now. A pretty good amount of height to it, and if we could just not get stuck again in that lattice work, that would be terrific. The odds of that happening twice, though, are pretty small. Oh, wow, that's quite a fall. The car fell apart. Oh, brutal. Yeah, we were way up there. Now, how does this work with obstacles? Are there other obstacles? Like, how do you even get those involved? Oh, you can put them up on the wall. That's pretty crazy. Alright, what would we do with... Let's just try a road bump and see what this does to throw the car off. And then I guess we can try a ramp or something, or maybe a brick wall. Because then there's a pretty high chance, right, that the bricks would end up falling back down on top of the character. Alright, that's the kind of disruption I was looking for. You want to make the car not have contact with the ground. Okay. Something fell off. I guess it was another hand. Oh! Are we going to hit each one of these on the way down? I can't believe how much these little lattice things keep entering into the picture. That's, yeah, that's a whole bunch of points there. What happened to the car? Oh, it landed over there. New high score. And then the fact that there's a leaderboard on top of it actually makes us even more addictive trying to get, you know, a higher score. And the leaderboards right now are pretty high, too. I see Well, I see the reasonable looking scores that are like 2, 3, 4 million, and then I see ones that are like 1,410,000 or 100 million. That's kind of weird. I don't know if those are legit, or maybe they found some way to exploit the way this all works. Alright, let's swap out this with a brick wall. Oh. Well, that's not quite going to work, is it? What if we put a couple of brick walls here and just see... They just immediately fall apart. It's kind of what I would have expected. I thought maybe they'd have special physics exceptions for this scenario. Yep, the whole car just broke apart before we even get to the wall. And somehow, that actually earned me more points than I was expecting, but that was not a good run. Let's get rid of that. Yep, there they go. Mega Wall, will that stay up? Mega Wall looks like it will stay up, though. Alright, try it. It's not going to be a long run. And bam! Oh, jeez. Broke in half. And the car is determined to go in the other direction, so we're not going to get the residual crunch from that. Obstacles again. What other obstacles could we use that might be interesting here? I mean, you could try an oil slick. I kind of want to see a quarter pipe, though, and see what that does. To launch us now, we would be going at, like, what, a 90-degree angle back at us or something? Or maybe this is a 45-degree angle. I didn't get a good look. Yeah, okay. Still, that's pretty crazy. Oh, he holds on the whole way down. Oh. Oh, I could feel that. I could feel the impact. Alright, what other poses maybe we could get involved with here? Sitting on the back, grabbing to the front. Maybe let's try this out. Oh, you can't hold on. You can't hold on like that. What are you doing? Oh, there goes the car. I've stopped changing vehicles, by the way, if you haven't noticed. Alright, well, that's probably the safest dismount that I've seen happen in quite a while. Car's all the way back there. What if we try the Mack truck? I want to see what kind of airtime we can get with one of these guys. It's probably not going to be that good. Although, then again, like I said before, they've got the torque. Maybe the thing is just going to soldier its way up. No, okay, no, just kind of isn't going to do anything. Alright, this is all whiplash. That was definitely a very non-confrontational collision that we had there. Let's try the delivery truck. And this one has a little bit more zip to it. Not quite as good as a sports car, but I think it will at least get most of the way up. Or maybe it won't keep contact with the wall for very long, and never mind. So I can see a lot of really interesting and fun, really silly scenarios, especially as it pertains to traffic crashing into other traffic and things. So I would love to see where Turbo Dismount goes in the future. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this little look at it as well. I think it's surprisingly fun and addictive. So go ahead and try out this little preview, and if you enjoyed it, feel free to go vote for the game on Greenlight. It is right now going for its campaign to try and get on Steam. I certainly have seen worse, so I think this one definitely does deserve a little bit of exposure, which is why I wanted to make sure I covered it today. Wow, look at that. Oh, leg. No leg. No hand. Oh, that's rough. I kind of hope they don't actually model this to look like a real human, because then I'm going to feel bad when it breaks into little pieces. Anyway, I think that'll do it for another episode, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed the episode. Please do let me know what your criticisms are of the game. Let me know your opinions of it in the comments. If you've tried it, let me know some of your high scores if I don't see you on the leaderboards here. What you thought about it, if you found any ways to like exploit the physics system, because I'm kind of interested how these people ended up with the 2 billion point. That's crazy business. Anyway, leave some support if you don't mind. Check out some of my other links other than the game link as well. And remember to vote on Greenlight too, like I mentioned already. And feel free to stop by indie-impressions.com for nearly 600 other videos in the series. We're actually like, I think this is 590 out of 600 or so in our list. So we're getting pretty close to the big 600. So hopefully you will stick around for that stuff. We'll have more coming real soon. New episodes are every single day, so hope to see you back for that. And if you've enjoyed it, please tell a friend. I would definitely appreciate that. So I will see you next time. Thank you so much for being here. Have a lovely night.